Hey, how's it going? Pure TCG back here with a deck profile. Our locals ended up, instead of doing a traditional sneak peek because they I guess entered in late, instead to give back to the community, they did a Fuwalos tournament. I ended up taking home first place. Second place ended up getting like a box and a half of the bling set, whichever that one is, I guess the latest rarity set, pretty much, which was awesome. So let's go ahead and get into the deck profile of what I ended up playing. The second place will be on the channel coming tomorrow as well, so go ahead and take a look out for that. He was my only loss. I ended up going 4-1 in Swiss. It was 5 rounds and then cut to top 8. So I ended up losing to him in the last round. We were both undefeated, and then I ended up playing him in the finals. We both made it to the finals, and then I ended up reverse sweeping him and taking the 2-0 from him. So he 2-0'd me in Swiss, and I 2-0'd him in the finals. So it was pretty good matches back and forth, though. So let's go ahead and grab into the list itself, and then we will kind of talk a little bit more after the fact. So I ended up playing Maliss. I've been on this deck for quite a while, testing different versions, seeing what I liked. This is the version I kind of saw and swapped to kind of last minute. I was testing the striker version and wasn't having a lot of success, or I guess I didn't really mesh with it very well. This version just seemed to kind of outperform for me. So get into the standard. Everyone knows you got 3 Dormouse, 3 White Rabbit. I'm playing 3 Cat. Makes sense to me. I just want to see engine, especially with I'm playing the Bystial version. So any name plus the Bystial is full combo. So seeing a name in your hand is the most important thing, and seeing a name is just so much better than actually just seeing, say, like the field spell combos or anything along those lines. So definitely want to max out on engine. And the honorary Maliss monster Dotscaper, pretty standard. We got 3 field spell and then 1 of each of the traps. This is all pretty standard. The only thing difference wise would be the 3rd cat from a lot of builds, but I think you just need to see names. Going into the Bystial engine, playing 3 Lubellion. We have 1 Baldric, 1 Magnuma, and then 3 Druisworms. Druisworm is the best. Outs Detonator. You can set up a lot of cool plays. If you end up Druisworming on their turn and then going into a Maliss name, and they have Detonator on field, we'll kind of talk about it a little bit more, but I'm playing Dark in the side deck, so you can go into Dark and then go ahead and target the Detonator. They have to then choose whether or not they're going to pop and give you the search off of the Dark, or just let you keep playing from there, which is really a really good addition to the deck. That means you also don't have to waste your battle phase by trying to crash into the Detonator. If they summon the Detonator in defense, you still have plays to go ahead and get it off the board without having to go 2-. And then to round it off, 1 regained. The main side out pattern later on was siding out, going second, depending on the matchup mainly, but siding out the Lubellions and the regains, and then depending on the matchup as well, then you could start trimming down on your names itself. But this was just a super easy side out, especially with some of the cards I was siding in. Getting into the hand traps, playing 3 Nib, 3 Ash, and 3 Imperms. So you have 5 Bystials plus these here, so that gives you 14 technical hand traps. So worked out pretty well. The only thing I did miss was nowhere in the 75 I was playing Droll, and I'm kind of a big advocate of that card. So maybe moving forward, finding some place to end up putting Droll back into the list would be nice, but otherwise, like I said, the list worked out really well. Non-engine wise, called by Gold Sark, 2 talents, and 2 allures. The field spell itself you want to use in your combo, so I'm not playing the I'm not playing terraforming. You can opt to play terraforming like over the talents or over one of the allures, or even move to the called by to the side if you'd like. This is just very generic, especially for going into a wide array in the meta itself, such as like a local scene. This just lets you help dig for when you go into your sideboard pieces, things along those lines, or just deal with generic threats. So that's the list, 40 cards even. Let's go into the extra real quick. Extra deck wise, Link ones, we have Link Decoder, Link Spider, Link Grebo. Was really contemplating cutting this card. I'm glad I didn't. It did come up a couple of times where I've already used my Link Decoder or something along those lines, and I just needed to get into an extra deck monster so that way I can make XP for the follow-up turn and then get back into my different plays. So did come up quite a bit of times. Glad I didn't cut that. Link 2, Haggard, SP, Splash, the Dark Charmer that I talked about. Really glad I added this card. I ended up playing against Maliss twice and came up both times. I think I summoned this every time except for one round. So just having generic to make with like the Bystials, especially if you're able to use like 2 Bystials on their turn. Like I said, you can make Link Druid summon them into the Gloomy. And then at that point, if they're going to pop this, you're going to search a Maliss name and then be able to play. Otherwise, this will just get you free extension going forward. IP, this is technically the flex spot in my extra deck. This could be something different or something better in my opinion. I only went into it once and I don't even know if it was the right play at that time. The idea is if you Bystial on their turn and then they Lancey on yours, you can make the IP and then attempt to still play on theirs, but that's super far-fetched and not going to happen very often. So, I mean, that was the idea behind it, but it just didn't come up. You got your 3 girls, White Binder, Red Ransom, Heart's Cryptor. Nothing to say about those. I did play against Maliss, Kashtira, and there is some consideration if you're running into a bunch of Kashtira to play like a second White Binder or even a second Red Ransom if you're going second into that deck. So that way you still have access, or they have to kind of choose between it. But even then, game 2, he ended up ripping both of these from my extra deck, and then I just killed him with Heart's Cryptor. So say what you will about that deck. Going into Link 4's Firewall, Access Code, and then you can see my extra deck's getting down there. I'm not playing the Firewall Dragon. I think if you're already going into the big Firewall Link 5 Dragon, you're already in a winning position. You have your full board set up. You might as well make the blowout card, which is the Nightmare Griffin. It's so hard to deal with Nightmare Griffin plus GWC06, plus if you have a Bystial. So if they bell the GWC06, you have a Bystial to kind of get your whole play started back up again, let alone the Bystial itself. Generally, there's an SP link to this side, so Nightmare Griffin is also protected if they wait to nib you till the very end, or they have to deal with the SP as well. It's just too good. And then this can come up in more simplified game states too when you kind of get back and forth and they're top decking and they can't just go ahead and start slamming plays without having to make some awkward lines to get through the Griffin. Definitely would suggest cutting that Firewall Dragon, putting the Griffin in, frees up so much for your extra deck as well. And then I played the 1 Typhon. I ended up summoning this only, I think, 3 times, but I mean, it was good every time I did summon it. Just at the end of a combo, just being able to slap this down, bounce a monster, and then either attack for game or just putting them in a really awkward spot. Side deck wise, side deck probably could have used a little bit of work, but it was very generic. I just kind of threw a bunch of 3-ofs and went with it. 3 Lancia. No real explanation needed. I was playing the 3 Shifters. Like I said, I expected some Rogue because it was locals. This did come up in a few of my matchups. Just being able to shifter them and then continue to play from there. And then if you're playing against an inexperienced Maliss player, this will put them into awkward lines. People think Maliss is just a straight shifter deck, but it weakens the end board by so much that you can, generally if they go first and you shifter them, you can kill them on the crackback because their board is so either half made or they fumble through their lines. Still playing the 3 crossouts because I am on the hand trap version. Crossout is good, and then it gives you 4 ways to beat the Lancia if they do draw it. So generally, if they Lancia, you just try to set up your Bystial plays and then or Lubellion search, and then generally 1 or 2 Bystials will get you to your next turn. So that's the kind of Lancia plays there, or answers to Lancia. And then I'm playing 3 Book of Eclipse. This is for the Ryziel matchup. This will get swapped out once we actually start playing with Twin, because this card doesn't beat Twin on its or beat Ryziel anymore with Twin out. So this will get swapped out at a later date. I'm kind of keeping that to myself for right now, but I'm assuming everyone's talking about different ways to beat that going forward, especially with the Bystials. It makes it a little bit easier to beat the Twin, and with the TCG ruling for Twin, meaning that they have to summon back and equip one of them has to get summoned back and the other one has to get equipped, compared to the way we thought it was going to be, where it didn't matter if one of them left the field, the other one was still getting summoned back, period. But it makes it a little bit easier with the Bystials. And then I was citing 3 Droplet. This is mainly for the mirror match. If you let them, or say you don't open any hand traps and they set up full board, at least when they flip their GWC06, you have some answers to go ahead and stop them on their turn. You can stop, say, like if they're playing the big firewall or they're playing the Griffin, you can stop the Griffin and you can stop the White Binder when it comes back, so that way you can continue to play with very few interruptions. So that was the list. That's the 75. Like I said, 40 in the main. I don't know if there's a lot I would change about the list itself. Obviously, these cards are broken. They should probably be in the 75 somewhere. Maybe over like the Book of Eclipses. Technically, Droplet can answer the Ryziel boards. But if you're playing the Fiendsmith Ryziel, you'll probably want the shifters in. So not quite sure there. We'll figure it out. At least we ended up getting them. I didn't have a playset, so that was nice. Like I said, tomorrow I'll be dropping the second place winners list. Spoiler, he was on Toy Box Ryziel. So that list is super interesting. So go ahead, hit the subscribe button. Go ahead and leave a like, comment, and then we'll see you all next time. Peace.